Hello, and welcome to another video. Recently, I posted a video specifically for Your Idol where I talked about my opinions on the movie, so I won't repeat everything I said there, so instead, I thought it'd be fun to yap about the theories I've seen online and my own personal theory. But first, if you haven't watched my Your Idol spread, then a quick recap. I loved the movie, it was amazing, and I want a sequel immediately, Netflix. The pacing was a bit off, but I heard the movie was supposed to be twice as long, so with that in mind, it makes a lot more sense. Oh, and also between Soda Pop and Your Idol, and honestly, all of the songs in the movie, Your Idol is 100% my favorite. Okay, let's move on to my own personal theories I had right after finishing the movie. First things first, I am of the camp that Jinwoo is not dead, and instead, Rumi has his soul, which turned into the sword she used at the very end, and he's totally just chilling in the sword now, I guess. I'm not sure about the other members, but I did see people say they probably won't be expanded upon much, but considering the extra time that was spent showing the photo of the group of boys at the doctor's office, I think that could mean they want to do something more with the characters, so I'm hoping that means that the members will be expanded upon in the future. I also think that the Hunmoon did not turn gold at the end, which I feel like is kind of obvious, and it seemed like a new one was made, or maybe the old one was just like re-strengthened. Either way, I think that the way the Hunmoon will work in the future might change because maybe Rumi uses her powers or like her demon powers to maybe change the way the Hunmoon is going to work. Maybe it doesn't completely sail off the demon realm. Maybe it like works in some other way, which I think could be kind of like an interesting idea. Since considering Rumi has her marks now, like fully embedded in her, I guess you could say, and everything that happened with Jinwoo, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they came up with a different plan, or even maybe she could overtake Guima's role, possibly, or maybe have Jinwoo overtake his role, possibly. I think that could be an interesting route to go down. But anyways, that's all my personal theories I had right after the movie. So instead, let me go over some theories that I saw online that sounded kind of interesting. One of the ones I saw is that baby Saja and Abby didn't get killed, and possibly I think it was either romance or mystery that also some people said teleported away at the last minute, and in fact it was not killed. But either way, I've seen some say they could go back to Guima and reappear in the sequel as parts in Guima's new plan, whether that be with another Kpop boy corp, or if they'll just attack them like the situation they were doing before. But I did see other theories that maybe they could get stuck above ground and can't go back to Guima, so instead they're forced to go with Huntrix and ask for their help. But if you ask me, I think a cool idea could be to have them actually end up attached to Jinwoo. So Rumi would find a way to bring Jinwoo back properly and out of the sword, which, like I said, I like to think he's just chilling right now. And the Saja boys would just follow along Jinwoo and basically do whatever his bidding is. So to them, Jinwoo is like their king or their master, whatever, instead of Guima, which I think could be really interesting. Although it would also be cool to see them maybe get their own original personalities back, or maybe like flesh out the current personalities they have now, considering that we saw them at the doctor's office. Since we just like held on that image for a little bit too long at the doctor's office, and the fact that they even showed it at all makes me convinced that there must be more to them, maybe. Otherwise, I feel like they wouldn't have spent time doing that. So I don't know what they're going to do with them, but I think they're going to play another role in the sequel. And now another thing I've seen a bit, I think, was about the aunt, I think, or whoever the lady was that was taking care of Rumi. She was like barely in the movie, but she was there. We saw her a little bit, and I saw people say that maybe she possibly accidentally killed Rumi's mom after maybe getting into a fight, or maybe after trying to kill Rumi's father, she instead accidentally killed Rumi's mom, which I think could be an interesting storyline to follow, since I'm pretty sure that was not in the movie. Those are just theories, but I think that could be an interesting storyline that they could go along. I would also like to see more of her, because I would like to see how she reacts to basically what Rumi did with like the Hunmoon and everything. Like, is she okay with Rumi wearing her demon scars proudly or whatever? And is she like okay with like the path that Rumi wants to go? Because I'm not sure if they're really going to go down the path of sealing the Hunmoon. I think they might do something different. So if that's the case, would the aunt or whoever this lady technically is be like okay with doing that? Or like would she try to fight back and say no, you need to stick to the traditional route, yada yada yada? I think it'd be kind of interesting to see what route they decide to go down. I honestly don't really have any theories about Rumi's father that I've seen that I was convinced. It feels like something where further details about it got cut out of the final version, so I'm honestly not really sure there's really much in the movie itself that really hints to who he could be or what he could be. I saw someone say the bird, which was interesting. It had something to do with like the hat being part of an outfit that like the Green Reaper wears, and maybe the father was like the Green Reaper, blah blah blah. So like maybe the father's a bird. I don't think so, but it could be kind of funny if the father was a bird. That would be kind of interesting. I don't think so, but it'd be funny, I guess, or at least an interesting route to go down. But I've also seen people say that he is Kuima. And personally, I don't think I believe that, but it is a little bit entertaining to think that maybe he's just salty at Chinu, or maybe salty at one of the sisters or whatever, and now he's throwing like a tantrum underneath the ground or whatever. But considering that he's been around for as long as at least Chinu has been around, I'm assuming that he probably isn't Rumi's father at all. But if he is, I'd be very interested to see how they handle that storyline. Because at least right now, I did not feel like Kuima was Rumi's father, like, at all, ever. So if they do that, I'd be very curious to see how it is that they manage to do that. But yeah, anyways, that's all my theories I have. And all the theories I saw online that I thought were kind of interesting. But in terms of the drawings, I'm not super happy with how the drawings came out right away. But after giving it a few days, they honestly don't look as bad. Like, I think the bodies are fine. It's more like the faces. I have such a hard time capturing people's likenesses if they're not like an anime character. So it's something that I really want to work on. But it is kind of annoying to work on since obviously it's probably going to take me a while to learn how to like really capture a character's or a person's likeness and not lose it. But it is kind of frustrating to do when their likeness just never looks the way I want it to look. But it is something that I'm working on. It's a goal that I'm working towards. So with that in mind, I think like the outfits and the pose were like fine. I just think the faces and stuff were like a little off. But all I can do is try to fix it in the future. I do like how the soda pop part came about, which I did with Posca pens. I think it turned out really nice. I looked up bubble graffiti font or whatever to kind of help out with the design. I kind of made it look splattered or something like that, you know, something to look a little bit interesting. I chose colors that I thought matched with the soda pop vibes, and also I think the pink and black I used kind of helped tie it in with the Your Idol spread, which is right next to it. So all in all, I'm actually like pretty content with the spread. You know, I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, which, you know, you can check out the Your Idol spread if you'd like to hear my opinions about the movie as a whole. But anyways, that's all I really have to say. So I'm gonna go. Bye bye.